I've been a writing instructor for 40 years, I guess, and in those 40 years, I guess we've developed increasingly sophisticated understandings of how to teach writing. But sometimes I think that we've left some things out of our writing practice that got us interested in writing in the first place. For instance, we sort of have split off from creative writing, right? And so college composition and communication says nothing about creativity, right? And I think that sometimes when I read student papers, I feel like the juice is left out. I see students fulfilling the letter of the task as best they can, but because the task has been we've gotten so good and efficient at teaching the behaviors of writing, the passion and the juice just hasn't been, students haven't taken it up. And sometimes I think that's because we ourselves don't take up that passion and that juice. So it seems to me that what digital communication allows us to do is tap into the things that students care a great deal about, living in the digital world and practicing the digital communications that they have to practice to stay in touch with others and to make their way in an increasingly technological world. So they have to be able to do these things. And we can tap into that passion, these new ways of knowing, these ways of knowing that might not be quite as, I don't know, constrained or legislated or gridded in the same ways that we've made composition assignments, because we know that there should be a thesis, and we know that there should be 3 paragraphs, and we know that there should be a conclusion. All those things can be true, but there are also new things to learn, new forms to learn, and sometimes paying attention to the ways in which students are making meaning and then inviting them to think in new and creative ways about how to make meaning in these new environments. For me, that reinvigorates the teaching of composition in ways I think that we can't do all by ourselves. Sometimes we have to look to students for inspiration in that regard. That doesn't mean that we have to leave behind our values and our standards. It only means that we also invite in other ways of knowing, and we combine those other ways of knowing with the things we found to be effective, and we keep our hearts and minds open to new genres that we may not know ourselves, we may not be expert in, we may not be the people who can give all the answers. Sometimes I think that's really good, because in that sense students have to bring their own interests to the table in order for us to succeed, and I think that's positive.